Hello, welcome to the SAIC at Home and Square Embedded Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Wiley. Today I'm here with Donaldson Jr. How you doing today, Don?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Ian?
Oh, man, I can't complain. So tell me about yourself. Where do you come from?
So, I am a North Lawndale resident, born and raised in Chicago. I lived in North Lawndale all of my life. So yeah, that's where I'm from.
All right, and so what do you do professionally?
I am the youth organizer / media person for NLCCC. So I do a lot of tech stuff. I do a lot of dealing with kids and stuff like that.
So NLCCC is the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council?
Yeah, so NLCCC is the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council, and we're in the process of creating a comprehensive plan that'll be a living document for like the next 15, 20 years or so for the entire North Lawndale neighborhood.
So how'd you end up getting involved with NLCCC?
It's a wild story. So after I graduated college back in May.
Where'd you graduate?
From Western Illinois University. So I graduated, and then afterwards I was like, you know what, I want to give back to the community because I ended up going to Western off of a music scholarship that I never probably would have obtained if I didn't go to an organization called Celestial Ministries, which is right over on Drake and Cermak Road. So when I started there when I was a kid, about maybe 11 years old or so, and they gave me all the core rudiments and everything that I needed to grow as a musician. And from there, I ended up going through high school and several different music schools around the city and everything. And after college and after doing all the music and stuff, I was like, you know what, it's time to go back and help out the kids that are there at Celestial Ministries now. So I prayed about it. I was like, you know what, let me see how can I give back to my community? And I just felt like that was something that I needed to do anyway. So when I did go back, they ended up telling me about an internship that I could do for 2 months or so. And I was like, okay, you know what? I was already working in insurance, but it wasn't really the field that I saw myself in for like 20, 30 years. So I didn't mind jumping around just to see where I fit in yet. So yeah, yeah, haven't we all? But you know, like when I went and did the internship, I just sent over my resume to New Covenant CDC, which is the fiscal agent of NLCCC.
New Covenant Community Development Corporation.
Yes. So like after I sent over the resume, I got called in for an interview. About 2 hours after the interview, got an email saying that I got it. I was like, okay, cool. So then I just jumped right into that. It was fun, a learning process, still a learning process. After my internship was over, they just wanted to keep me on longer. So I was in the middle of doing all the social media communications and youth organizing, putting together a council of youth that work in the community, live in the community, and just want to have more ownership of the communities as youth. So got really into that, and here I am today. So yeah,
that's really good. So I guess how would you describe like your upbringing?
I would say it was very artsy. It was nice, laid back. I lived at home with both my parents and my older sister, so I was the youngest one. Didn't seem like it though. Sometimes I felt like the oldest individual in the house sometimes.
Old soul in a young body?
Old soul in a young body. I think it was because most of the music that I play is like jazz. Okay. So it's like I'm always, usually when I do some gigs, it's probably a jazz gig, and I'm around older people, so I've always gotten their perspectives and everything on life and everything, and already seen what they've been through, and I just take that and learn from it. So
yeah, it's really good. So what got you into music? Is it a musical household also?
Yeah, my dad, he's a guitarist. He was in a band in his younger days called the Copastatics, and they were really like big all over the city. He did a lot of tours with like the Barcades, Boys to Men, did a lot of different recordings, and he was really out there for a while. And then when he had my older brother, he decided to just settle down and everything, and got married to my mom and everything. So yeah.
So, it seems kind of obvious why you were drawn to music and everything to hear that. But what drew you to community service? How did you know when you were working in insurance that this is not where I want to be? And how did you know inside, internally that I need to get back to the place that I come from?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. It's a lot of money in insurance, and it's exciting. Bringing in fast money or seeing someone close another case or something like that, and they always super pumped and everything. And I just thought about it I graduated from college. I've done my thing. I'm doing my music, making my money, but at the end of the day, I will come home and still see the needs that are in the community, needs that my family members needed, close relatives, friends, just even looking at certain infrastructure of North Lawndale, it needs a update. We need to take better care of what's going on here. And I just felt I can always, I'm only 23, so it's I got plenty of time to just go out and focus on myself. Let me at least do something for at home right now. And when I got to NLCCC, and when I actually asked and had a conversation between myself and God about it, I did not know that I would be serving the community as long. I kind of wanted to just do the drumline thing, help out with music in some type of way, but I've always been I guess people call them empaths.
Okay.
Where I'm able to deal with certain situations or understand people, and
right. You pick up on other people's feelings.
Yeah, pick up on other people's feelings, and I can really get connected and everything. So when I started working with the youth, and just even if it was one or two stories out of a class full, just making those connections, it was strong. And then I started to see the real true need of mentorship in the North Lawndale community. North Lawndale is a great place to live. The parks are beautiful. We got some historic landmarks here, and then the people that live here take pride in the neighborhood. But there is a new age that has not been able to see that. A lot of kids don't have the needs and the basic necessities to survive in a healthy way. And the one downfall I would say about North Lawndale is basically that it's a low-income area right now. So when you're dealing with low income and you have families that grow up in certain situations because they don't have the economic streams of income to support what they need, they are more they're more prone to trauma and stuff like that. It could be trauma from love, trauma from finances, trauma from physical abuse, mental abuse. All of these things happen all over the world, but in North Lawndale is a stigma that if you don't go and get help for mental issues or emotional issues that you're going through, it's seen more so as you're crazy or something like that, or they're going to try to put you on medication. But honestly, a lot of people don't have people to talk to. And when I start dealing with the youth, I start noticing man, for you not to know me that well and just to open up to me and connect with me that well it's saddening to me, and it's also happy to me that you able to talk to someone. But that's really what made me want to stay a part of NLCCC, because I see the value in revitalizing the community and people's lives on a daily basis. I never know what my day might look like. Might be talking to kids, might be talking to some executive director, or you never really know. Yeah. Yeah, some artist. I might do a lot of different things.
It sounds like you find a lot of joy in your work. method. That's really good.
Yeah, I like it because I'm learning from some good people. I'm around good people, and I'm able to help the people of the community, which they need help. They just don't know how to ask for it or take advantage of certain resources in the community. So when we bring it to them, we give them another option. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself? Let's just stretch it out there. Where do you see yourself in like 20 years?
20 years. Hopefully, working in a non-for-profit has actually made me view my professional life in a different way. I went to school for like logistics, so supply chain management and stuff, communications. I saw myself somewhere in corporate America just doing stuff.
How we get things from here to there in the most reasonably efficient way.
Yeah, running numbers, making a lot of money, and just doing my own thing. But now, I'll get there. I'll probably still end up doing that, but I want to be able to, I kind of want to open up my own non-for-profit now, or even some type of just musical institute in North Lawndale where kids, youth, even adults can come and commune, maybe have some music therapy in there, teach some different classes, music classes.
I'm going to have to talk to you after this interview about a little something that Alderman Scott Jr. has talked about in the building. So
Cool, yeah. Because, after I got done with Celestial Ministries, I still go by there from time to time when I can to volunteer and help out with them. And actually, they work closely with NLCCC now, playing at different events and stuff like that. So it's always a pleasure being around them and being able to still play with them just because I work in the neighborhood. But I kind of want to either go somewhere like that where I could be a part of that as well. So maybe after I retire, maybe I could just teach music to kids, or even while I'm working wherever I choose to work, regardless of if I'm still with NLCCC. Who knows? Maybe I might. Maybe I might.
I'm the executive of NLCCC one day.
Who knows? I might be on the executive committee one day. So, yeah, and even still, I've thought about it, wherever my professional life goes, I still have an invested interest in North Lawndale. I think I've made it really clear that I would even be willing to volunteer to continue doing this work, regardless of where I go, because I don't plan on leaving the city of Chicago anytime soon. And as long as I'm here, and as long as I can, I want to at least help the people around me, because I'm from here, I breathe here, eat here, sleep here. So it's walk these streets every day. I want to make it the best that I can and do the part that I can at least.
That's real. Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah. Thanks.
A lot. That's really good. There's a few things I want to ask you, but yeah, I'll transition into this. So as you know, I'm an embedded artist with the School of the Art Institute, and as part of that, basically, I attend a lot of the NLCCC's meetings, and I'm there as a dual agent. On the one hand, as an embedded artist, I'm just there to listen and to see how the school can support the efforts of the community coordinating council and how we can deploy our resources out there. And then also, I'm also live and work in the community, and therefore want to participate, as a private citizen also.
Yeah.
But since you are from here, since you do work with a lot of the youth, and we're both 23, we're young adults. We're adults, but we're young, so we're still youth. So, how do you feel like our institution, our school, can be good neighbors in the community? We're here, we have this program, we don't really plan on leaving. So how can we do it right? How can we do it right?
It's funny you asked that, because I was just talking with one of the organizers, Kiana Beasley, for NLCCC. So, even being around different meetings with Heyman and everything, he advocates for SAIC and the programs here as well, and the team focus group that you're putting together. I think that's a great idea, to get a team focus group from the community to learn what do the kids here want to be able to do. I know when I go to different organizations around here, kids do want art programs, and I can definitely understand why, because when you go to school, like even when you go, let's just say freshman year high school, most people don't go into that freshman year like, hey, I'm finna go to calculus.
Right.
No, like when you get to band class, you feel a little relief. When you go to art therapy or sculpting or whatever, you feel a little release from the stress of the day. Yeah, and kids here deal with stress on a daily basis. There are high crime rates that are lowering over time, which is a good thing. So we are working in the right direction, going in the right direction. But I would say if there's some way to have maybe check out even going outside a little bit, like Manly High School, DRW, and North Lawndale College Prep in Collins. Let's say if you could find those students that are in art programs at the school, and let's just say provide like an internship maybe for a select 15 students from the North Lawndale community, so that they can have a different experience going downtown to the real SAIC facility, or even bringing them here during the school year to do certain things. But I do think when you give the kids an option to go outside of the neighborhood and learn different things and get different perspectives, they will come back grateful for having that opportunity, and hopefully they come back ready to share that knowledge with someone else that's in the community. So I think that would be a great idea. And also, I'm not sure if SAIC has the capacity for this right now, but even going into certain organizations like UCAN, Wyman, or Learn, and teaching the kids right where they are, not necessarily expecting them to come to the facility or even the tower or anything like that. If it's possible to go directly to them and work with the EDs or the CEOs there and get some type of curriculum in their program or after school program, and teach them right where they are. Give them the option to stay after school and do something positive. I think that would be you would be able to touch a lot of students doing that. Also, what I think SAIC could do during the summertime, North Lawndale has a lot of block parties. Let's do some canvassing, like outside, like free ball,
on the floor,
spray painting. I don't know. I don't do the drawing art. I just play music. So whatever those terms are and everything. But like maybe if you could do something outside with them during like b-ball on the block while they playing basketball. Maybe you might have a few select kids that are into art, or maybe not even into art. Just give them a chance to express themselves randomly. Pop-up shops, pop-up expressions. Some people just need an outlet at any given time. It wouldn't matter when you gave them the outlet. Anything is better than nothing. I mean, so you have to work with what you have and make the best of it. I feel like if you just get out there and start doing certain things, it'd be great. Maybe even working with some of the churches, like Sunday schools and everything. After it's so many different ways, because me thinking about it from an artist perspective, musical perspective, whenever I would go to church and then I was able to play the drums or anything like that, I would still be thinking about what I just learned. But when I'm on the drums, it's almost like you have a way of speaking through art what you already know or what you already feel. And I think that'd be a positive outlet as well, if that makes any sense.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it 100% makes sense, and I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, let me think. I think getting kids involved with spray painting would be good. I know you've probably seen some of the murals that they've put together on some of the buildings and everything. Me personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's beautiful and it adds value to the community. Some people might not like it or anything, depending on what it is a picture of, but I mean, if you get a core group of kids that have been practicing and you've given them times to, first start on something that won't be concrete at first. But once they build those skills, have them do a project, have them do something that they can ride the train and see it on their way downtown every morning and be like, oh, I remember 10 years ago, I did that, we did that. That's something that they could tell their kids about. Me and some leaders from SAIC, we put that together, and they can look at that and remember what was the purpose behind that. They'll remember where they were beforehand and where they were at afterwards. Art is therapeutic.
Absolutely.
I know if it wasn't for the drums, I'd probably go insane. Like, especially like working and dealing with people and doing like social work type of stuff. You have to have some type of outlet.
Because you take in a lot from other people.
Yeah.
Having that way of just pushing that back out, in that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that would be great to give them as many options as they could have. I'm not sure exactly what that would look like, but I do think, working closely with the organizations in schools and going to them and maybe even mentoring them. I mean, kids don't always need mentors that only teach them how to do math and read and, stuff like that.
There's a lot of skills to be learned.
Yeah, there's a lot of skills to be learned, soft skills, having conversations with artists. Having a conversation with an artist or a musician is kind of drastically different from talking to, someone in corporate America.
Right, the way that we operate in our network economy of the art world is not necessarily the same as interacting with people you go to school with, or people at restaurants or stores or things like that. And also, speaking in corporate America, it's just not the same.
It's not the same. Maybe having a camp, maybe partnering with one of the organizations here that has already has a summer camp going on, and maybe you can come in twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know what that might look like. 9 to 11:30. I know it's people always here doing work in the community. I'm sure it's someone that can float around to different organizations to just hit different spots. I mean, that's what I do as an organizer. Like, I just float around, or I have a core group of people where we can go certain places and advocate towards different initiatives and stuff like that. So
that's why I wanted your voice here, because I knew not only that you grew up in North Lawndale, but that you continue to work here, and that you continue to work with youth, and that it just made so much sense to me, given like who you are and what you do, that like, of course, you would be able to provide valuable input for us, as we figure out what it is that we're doing here, because I sit in a lot of meetings with the administration, and I might get in trouble for this, maybe I have to cut this out, but probably won't. But we kind of have it figured out, but like not really, and that's why I like doing this podcast, is to get y'all's voices and to get guidance from the people who actually are from here and who live here and are here 7 days a week. It's one thing for people who are here for 2 days a week over a period of 6 months to try and build a program, and it's another thing for people who are here 7 days a week for 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, 23 years to say, this is what's going on, this is what we can use, and these are the things you can do.
I think that's I don't think you should cut it out. I honestly think that it's smart to be humble enough to come to a community, be here. I appreciate the work that you've done, because I see the work, throughout the community, and I know some kids that actually come here to the programs and stuff like that. And you have to be humble enough to say, you know what, we don't have it all the way together. I don't have it all the way together with my youth council. It's an ongoing learning process, and I'm humble enough to reach out to different organizers like that of my age and everything and put something together. Even as a core, we don't always know exactly how it's going to go, exactly what we want to do or what we should do, because the needs of the community change as time goes on. So the needs of this program will change eventually.
We don't have the humility to say we don't know, and we aren't giving ourselves the space to grow.
Yeah, you gotta at least give yourself that opportunity to say, hey, What do you think? You know, like, could you give me some input on this? And that's why I think the team focus group, and I already got it on my calendar. I will be there.
Very good.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going because at least they came out and they want to know what can they do to make this better. It's already great work. It's already a great program and everything, and all the different classes and workshops that you do. It's valuable information, valuable experiences that youth and elders can experience throughout the year here at SAIC. And I think the fact that you guys want to come out and see how can we make this better, that you have a real vested interest in the community, and that you want to see this thing long term.
Yeah.
You want to get the most impact that you can, the best bang for your buck, because we all know paint costs money, time costs money. Everything, all resources are not just free or abundant or everything like that. I mean, you gotta.
But that also means that they have to be deployed valuably. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just throw all your money in a trash can, which is basically what we would be doing if we didn't try and sit down and consult with the community, figure out, exactly how we can make this valuable. It's one thing to just do it for our sake, and to have these classes and say, wow, look how good we are. We're doing after school courses in North Lawndale. Look at us, And it's another thing to say, but I feel like that's throwing money in the trash can, is to do it for that sake, But how we actually get our return on investment is to sit down with the community and say, how do we do this for both of us? How do we make this a symbiotic relationship?
Yeah, and I mean, you'll get more people to come out. You will have, when people get things for free, a lot of times they don't see the true value of it. When they come in and you have a conversation, let's just say an hour-long conversation over a podcast, they might say, you know what? That was time I invested into this, energy and thoughts that I invested into this. I actually put something forth in this, even though it might not have cost money or anything, but people will see the value in that. Like, hey, they cared enough to come talk to me about it. My voice matters, like what I want to see in this community matters. And that's what people around the community needs to know. Everyone has a voice and it needs to be heard.
Yes.
Organizations don't just pop up without, you don't bring a business to the community. Let's just say you brought a big Pete's market to the community. Of course they go look at what are other stores selling around here, what are some of the other practices that they are doing, and then they go off of that data, and that's what they go put in their stores and stuff like that. So it's like you got to do your research first before you just show up with something that people might not want. You will like your back room will be crazy. Like, your reorder point and everything, you won't make the best profit off of that. That's, from a different standpoint, but it's the same thing,
It all ties in.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Well, I don't know. I feel like this has been pretty good.
Yeah.
But before we end, is there anything else you feel like you need to say?
I don't know. In the words of Paul Norrington, North Lawndale is turning 150 years old next year.
Yes, sir.
I think that we need to put a different foot forward for the next 150 years, the next generation coming up. I think SAIC can play a huge part in how the outcome of this, new age plays out in North Lawndale, and I think they already doing a pretty good job, and I'm glad to see that they have a true interest of what's going on here, and they value the opinions of the residents.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Well done. Thank you for joining us. This has been the SAIC at Home and Square Embedded Artist Podcast.